I believe that Filecoin's utility token called FIL could hypothetically go to the price of $100 during the peak of this bull run. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor. These are all hypothetical scenarios. But why do I think so? I think it's going to come down to the fact that Filecoin, it's simply amazing. Filecoin is a peer-to-peer network that stores files, and it's actually built on top of the same software that is powering the IPFS protocol. And by the way, the IPFS protocol is a peer-to-peer distributed storage network. That's a mouthful. Caray, porra. But besides that point, the reason why IPFS is actually different from Filecoin is the fact that Filecoin actually has an incentive layer on top. And this right here is done to incentivize contents to be reliably stored and accessed. So yeah, that's very amazing. Now, quite essentially, what this all means is that Filecoin is attempting to revolutionize the data storage market through decentralization. Now, the reason why decentralization is so revolutionary, in my opinion, I think it's going to come down to the fact that there's a lot of drawbacks through centralized data storage. I mean, when you think about it, right? A lot of data nowadays, it's highly centralized. Now, this actually has a couple drawbacks. For instance, right? Typically controlled by a single entity. Usually there's these multiple single points of failures. And of course, I don't think people like that. And that is where decentralization steps in, because through decentralization, all of these nonsense drawbacks and issues, they're quite essentially gone. That's how amazing it is. And keep in mind, the data storage market could be worth so much in the very near future. I mean, according to Fortune Business Insights, by 2030, the data storage market is expected to be worth nearly $800 billion. So yeah, that's insane. Caray, porra. That's some Portuguese right there, but I had to speak some Portuguese, especially when statistics could be that crazy. Now, decentralized data storage solutions, it's not the big thing yet, so to speak. A lot of enterprises haven't FOMOed into decentralized data storage solutions yet. But guess what? Once they finally do, guess who's going to be there to catch the wave? Filecoin. And of course, not only Filecoin, but there's other, decentralized data storage solutions out there as well. Now, this actually brings me to my next topic, which is a lot of people complaining that, oh, wow, the competitors when it comes to Filecoin, they're too good. Well, here's the thing. There are many good competitors out there. For instance, Filecoin, we take a look at Jasmy, Storage, Arweave, and some others, right? But, other than the ones that are popular and the ones that people really know, they're really just not that good. Even though there are good competitors, there's just not that many. And I think that right there is going to play to the advantage of something like Filecoin because, quite essentially, it's one of the pioneers. So again, right? Once these enterprises, they start FOMOing into, these decentralized data storage solutions, Filecoin is going to be one of the few that they consider because, again, it's well established, it's very amazing, and it's very revolutionary. So when I consider just how amazing the data storage market could be, when I consider how fantastic Filecoin is, I don't see why FIL, its utility token at the price of $100 is too much to ask for. Especially when I consider just how insane this bull run could be. According to Crypto.com research, there's over 500 million cryptocurrency owners as of right now, which is more than ever before in history. So you got to imagine the potential FOMO, buying pressure and buying volume that could very well happen during the peak of this altcoin season. Also on top of that, you have to take into consideration how the peak of the altcoin season, it doesn't happen just in the next 2 days from right now or something like that, even though that'd be great for me. But historically speaking, there's a time range. Now, the time range is usually altcoins peaking anywhere between 6 to 18 months after a Bitcoin halving event. Now, the Bitcoin halving event did, of course, happen last month in April, so we're potentially taking a look at around 6 to 18 months from last month, which, of course, is a worst-case scenario, October of 2025. But personally, for me, if it does happen then, fine, because I'll just dollar cost average even more, right? If I have more time to dollar cost average into my favorite projects, why not? At least that's the way I view it. And my buying strategy isn't dumping all in. It's not day trading, not using leverage, none of that. Again, it's dollar cost averaging. So anytime I do an income, I just put aside some for my favorite cryptocurrencies. I acquire and I hold and I just wait for the peak of the bull run. That's it. I like to keep things simple. And keep in mind, FIL, at the price of $100 really isn't too outlandish. At that point, the market cap would be around $55.6 billion. Let's say for simplicity's sake, let's say it's $56 billion. Even $56 billion isn't that much. I mean, Doge at one point reached around $88 billion. So this is around $30 billion less than that. Now, I get it, Doge has a lot more fans, more hype, but Filecoin, I think its added use case and fundamentals really does even out the playing field. At least that's the way I take a look at it. So FIL, again, when I consider just how massive this altcoin season could be, that's what she said. When I consider the market it's focused on, when it comes to Filecoin, when I consider just how revolutionary Filecoin is just in general, and yet again, when I consider how realistic it is, when it comes to the market cap Phil would have at the price of $100, I really don't see why $100 during the peak of this bull run is all too much to ask for. I think it could very well be a reality for something this amazing. And make sure to subscribe if you gained value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. And also on top of that, make sure to check out this very fantastic video. I think you all would really love it. It's Lee the Captain. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.